Every year at BBC Gardeners World Live, Lucy Chamberlain and I run the Plant Experts Advice Desk. So as we're not there this year, we thought we'd give you some of our favourite questions of all time. One of the more common climate questions we get at BBC Gardeners World Live is about wisteria, either establishing a new one or renovating an overgrown one. There are a few simple rules to follow to get the best out of any wisteria.
Firstly, take all the long growth and tie it into your framework. In this case, my wires, or it could be up a trellis or even a tree. Then, sometime in midsummer, you'll want to take all the other whippy growth and reduce it down into spurs by taking about 1/3 to 1/2 of the growth off. Cut the growth at the bud. Finally, in January or February, take these shortened stems and chop them right back to 1 or 2 buds. This will stimulate flowers in the spring. A lot of visitors to Gardeners World Live usually come and see me and Lucy about damage to their fruit trees, especially their apples and plums. And usually in 90% of the cases it's some sort of pest damage, and a lot of it is superficial. Let's take a look at some aphid damage on my espaliers. As you can see, even though these espaliered apples are generally healthy, the tips are extremely distorted and the leaves are curled in on themselves. This is caused by the aphids sucking sap from the underneath of the leaf, causing it to curl round and protect them. Damage like this is more unsightly than detrimental and is easily snipped off on freestanding trees. Or if you have trained fruit like these espaliers, you'll soon be giving them their summer prune anyway. Apples, plums and pears are tough fruit trees and can put up with a lot of pest and disease and still give you good fruit.
Every year, Lucy and I are asked how to grow things successfully in containers, especially trees and shrubs. Well, there are a few simple rules to follow for successful planting.
If a plant's been growing in a pot for some time, it's worth taking it out and checking the root ball to see if it's congested. In most cases, if a plant's been sitting in a pot for a couple of years, the compost is spent, and there are 2 ways that you can remedy this. Firstly, you can repot it into a slightly larger pot. Or secondly, you can take off about 1/3 to 1/2 of the root ball, trying to tease out as many of the roots as you can. Take the plant's original pot and add some fresh compost to make up for the soil you removed from the plant's root ball. Then plant the plant on top and allow the roots to settle down into the new compost. Remember to water your pots regularly, even when it's been raining, as pots can dry out very quickly, especially when it's warm. Once or twice a day is not unusual. Also, get into a regular feeding routine. Every 2 weeks is a good yardstick. Either use a granular inorganic fertiliser or a liquid fertiliser. Just follow the manufacturer's instructions and halve the rates for any sensitive plants. Always apply any feed straight to the compost and try and avoid getting any on any foliage. So those are just a few of the questions we get asked on the advice desk at BBC Gardeners World Live. Lucy and me really hope that we'll see you next year, and until then, happy gardening.